We're very honored to receive this award. We know that a lot of companies have done great work in the city, and we're just happy to be recognized for what we think is just something we should be doing. One of our managers, Linda Paradise, took it upon herself to coordinate with the American Red Cross the training of about 500 managers at AT&T. Over those 3 months, they scheduled between 70 and 75 sessions with some very, very capable American Red Cross volunteers who really did the heavy lifting, and we were able to educate and train these number of managers. As we all know, there are new ways of applying CPR and the Heimlich maneuver. I'm happy to say that I don't think we've had to use them yet. AT&T was honored to be a partner with the Red Cross. We're delighted that they found value in what we did. All I can say is that we hope other companies in San Diego take it upon themselves to work with the Red Cross. They're an invaluable organization in San Diego. We need to continue to support the kinds of work that they do.
He's my friend. He's helped me get through a very rough battle.
Sergeant Mark Plummer is referring to Charlie. Now, Charlie is not a doctor, not a family member. Charlie is a Labrador Retriever, a service dog, and so much more.
And I'm a firm believer. I think Charlie is a reader. I think he can sense exactly when you're mad, when you're sad, when you just need something there. And he knows exactly what to do every time.
A canine hero, helping a military hero, a husband, a father of two, an active duty Marine get his life back.
I was hit by a vehicle-borne IED. Obviously the blast itself, I hit the side of the door and knocked me unconscious, but it just, because of the chain reactions of so many that I've encountered, is kind of what led me to where I am today.
Where he is today is on the mend, thanks to Charlie.
More than 40% of all troops returning from this conflict and this war have PTSD, and they don't go out. They lock themselves in their houses at night, and they get up in the morning and go to work, and they go back and they lock themselves in.
Or worse.
More returning veterans are dying from suicide than from combat injuries, more than double.
Thanks to the group Freedom Dogs and Charlie, wounded Marines like Sergeant Plummer are getting extra help from an unlikely source.
So if somebody's starting to have a panic attack or a reaction to something, then the dog seems to sense it, and they jump up and they start touching them or hitting their hands.
Or if somebody walks up from behind, Charlie can get between them, comforting Sergeant Plummer.
What Charlie has done is became a friend, but also another distraction in those areas to where I could learn to, without even realizing, learn to be able to adapt and be in those situations that does bother me.
Learn to live away from combat. And it's working for Sergeant Plummer, on the mend both physically and mentally.
I came in at a 40%, and currently I'm about a 78% of mobility, mentally and physically.
An incredible accomplishment, helping a combat hero heal, recognizing the hero who has played a key role in that healing.
And he knows exactly what to do every time. And for that, I think he's a hero.
Oh my gosh, he's the best. He's my soul. He's wonderful.
Officer Salvador Gutierrez loves his job.
My favorite part is the fact that I don't know what I'm going to get into day in, day out.
He never knew that when he responded to the call of a traffic accident right here on Interstate 5 in the far north county.
This is when I first saw the flames coming out surrounding the gentleman.
That he would have to put his life in danger to save another. But then that's what you do in this job.
You could tell by the look at his face that he was in agony. but he never made any sounds. He never said anything.
He was probably in shock after just smashing into a stopped vehicle on the shoulder. The impact had pushed the door out, creating separation. From that opening came the driver surrounded by flames.
When I pulled him out, I realized that his legs were actually on fire. I didn't know that initially, but as I pulled him out, it turns out that both of his legs were actually on fire.
Officer Gutierrez didn't pause. He didn't think, he just acted.
My mental state took over where I realized this guy's gonna burn. And then I just grabbed him as fast as I could and just pulled him away, just using my own body weight to pull him away from the car.
Saving him from more serious injuries, likely saving his life. That's why Officer Gutierrez, Sal, is a real hero, albeit a humble hero.
I don't want to sound like it was like a heroic act. I think it's an act that any other human being would have done.
It's not a surprise. Most of the officers around here understand that that's just what that's what he does. I think what Sal did is above and beyond.
And though he downplays it, he truly appreciates the gratitude.
Receiving these awards, this is something new to me. This is awesome.
I was sitting on the couch, and all of a sudden, everything started moving.
It was the 7.2 magnitude Easter Sunday earthquake.
To be honest, I was walking to the grocery store and I didn't feel it. I think I'm the only person in the entire newsroom that didn't feel it.
But producer Ryan Gatelli did feel something else, the need to cover the aftermath like no coverage he's produced before.
You know, it's game time. It's when you really get to show your true colors.
It was the lead story for days, especially the coverage at the epicenter, Calexico.
You know, you cover earthquakes a lot in the news, and a lot of times there's not a whole lot of damage, but in this case there was.
I remember somebody found this photograph of close to the epicenter in Mexico, and where we have a road that's kind of in the middle of the desert and it is just opened. It looks like something from, you know, like CGI, but the road has just got destroyed, and you realize that how massive and powerful it is, and you realize that anybody that lives in the vicinity, you know, it's life's not good.
There was a lot of cleanup. There was an entire downtown that became a ghost town. Every single building it looked like was taped off. It looked like something out of a movie set. I hadn't seen devastation or disaster like that in my career from an earthquake.
As the coverage continued and the aftershocks continued for days, many asked if they were prepared.
We checked in with the Red Cross and we did stories about how to be earthquake prepared, and that got a big response, and we actually aired it a couple times. So hopefully now people might think and be a little bit better prepared.
And for that, and for the coverage of the Easter Sunday earthquake, Fox 5 News is a real hero.
Those are the days that you know that what you do is important. So that makes me feel good.
She said, "Are you the property owner or are you the cleaning staff?" And I said, "Well, both."
Jane Lane, a retired flight attendant, remembers an unexpected visitor to her vacation rental business more than a decade ago.
She launched a story that, you know, I put my broom down.
And she picked up a cause that now defines her. Her nonprofit, Jane Lane's Kids, raises funds to help defray the costs of housing when families travel for treatment at the Osteopathic Center for Children and Families. And it all started because she helped that woman in need.
She said, "I laid awake all night wondering, what am I going to do with my little boy?" And she said, I actually visualized a little house just like yours, there you were.
And more than a decade later, she's been there for many families, turning what could have been a lucrative vacation rental business into a charity that puts families into homes by the beach, providing her own sense of healing that was recognized back in the beginning.
They moved in, and I don't know, a few weeks go by that they're there, and a doctor calls me from the Osteopathic Center and said, "What is going on down there?"
What was going on? Not only was the child improving, the mother was improving as well, with a tremendous attitude and outlook.
Oh, it's paradise.
A healing paradise. But paradise and her opportunity to help families almost went away as quickly as it began.
It was complicated to succeed. I mean, I scratched like a dog, and I was making installment payments on my toothpaste. I'm telling you the truth.
But a good Samaritan close to home was Jane Lane's kids' guardian angel.
I opened a Christmas card from my cousin, and there was a check for $5,000.
$5,000 when she needed it most. But he wasn't the only angel to enter her life. A friend knew that Jane was changing lives, and a phone call proved he believed in her cause.
And she said, I'm a financial planner in La Jolla, and I think she's trying to sell me something. So I said, well, I'm a financial disaster in Mission Beach. And she said, no. She said, Joe Caperna is my client. And I said, oh, he's a friend of mine. And she said, he's a very good friend of yours.
He had hired that financial expert to take Jane from zero to nonprofit status, keeping Jane Lane's kids alive and helping families today as well as into the future.
I hear the same paragraph over and over and over. We could buy our plane tickets to get to San Diego. We could get the rent-a-car. We could pay for our food. We could pay for the doctors. We could not afford housing in San Diego.
But thanks to real hero Jane Lane, they don't just get housing, they get paradise.